In the year 2457, the Galactic Union's exploration vessel, Stellar Quest *, cruised through the vast emptiness of space. Captain Thalnor, a seasoned explorer with a keen sense for adventure, studied the holographic star map displayed in front of him. Arcturus Prime, a planet marked in red due to its infamous reputation for being one of the deadliest planets in the galaxy, blinked ominously. "Captain, we've picked up a life signal from Arcturus Prime," reported Lieutenant Velnara, her voice filled with disbelief. "That's impossible," Thalnor replied, frowning. "No species can survive there." "And yet, the readings are clear," Velnara insisted, magnifying the signal on the display. Intrigued, Thalnor decided to investigate. "Set a course for Arcturus Prime. Let's find out who's defying the odds." As the Stellar Quest * approached the planet, the crew prepared for a hazardous descent. The atmosphere of Arcturus Prime was a swirling tempest of violent storms and toxic gases. Landing was a challenge, but Thalnor's experienced pilot, Zorik, managed to find a relatively stable zone. "Prepare the landing party," Thalnor ordered. "I want to know who or what is down there." Thalnor, Velnara, Zorik, and a few other crew members descended to the planet's surface in a shuttle. They were met with a surprising sight: a thriving human colony, complete with buildings, agriculture, and even a small marketplace. The colony was a stark contrast to the planet's hostile environment. Humans of all species, thought Thalnor, amazed. How did they manage this? As they stepped out, a group of humans approached, led by a tall woman with a confident stride. She introduced herself as Sarah Mitchell, the colony leader. "Welcome to Arcturus Prime," Sarah greeted them with a smile. "I assume you didn't expect to find us here." Thalnor nodded, still in awe. "We were under the impression this planet was uninhabitable." Sarah laughed. "It is by most standards, but humans have a knack for surviving in the most unlikely places." "How did you get here?" Velnara asked. Curiosity piqued. "It's a long story," Sarah replied. "Why don't you come inside? It's safer and more comfortable than out here." The crew followed Sarah to a large building that served as the colony's main hub. Inside, it was warm and bustling with activity. Children played, adults worked on various tasks, and the overall atmosphere was one of determined optimism. Over a meal, Sarah recounted their story. "We crash-landed here about 50 years ago. Our ship malfunctioned, and we had no choice but to make the best of our situation. At first, it was a struggle. The environment is harsh, the wildlife is dangerous, and resources are scarce. But we adapted. We found ways to use the planet's unique elements to our advantage." Thalnor listened intently, impressed by their resilience. "It's remarkable that you've not only survived, but thrived." Sarah smiled. "Humans are more adaptable than most give us credit for. We've had to be." As the evening progressed, the crew learned more about the colony's innovative solutions to the planet's challenges. They had developed advanced technologies for air purification, water extraction, and sustainable food production. Each new piece of information deepened Thalnor's respect for these resilient humans. By the end of the night, Thalnor realized they had only scratched the surface of this extraordinary colony's story. He looked forward to learning more about their daily lives and the challenges they faced. Captain Thalnor and his crew spent the night in the colony's guest quarters. The next morning, they were eager to learn more about the humans' remarkable adaptation to Arcturus Prime. Sarah Mitchell greeted them at dawn, ready to give them a tour of the colony. As they stepped outside, the sun barely pierced through the thick, swirling clouds. The air was heavy with humidity and tinged with the sharp scent of minerals. The colonists moved about with purpose, tending to their duties with practiced efficiency. "Welcome to our daily reality," Sarah said, gesturing to the bustling scene around them. "Every day is a battle, but we've learned to manage." Captain Thalnor and his team followed Sarah through the colony. They first visited the air purification facility, where massive machines hummed and groaned, filtering out the toxic elements from the atmosphere. "These machines are our lifeline," Sarah explained. "They keep the air breathable. We built them from salvaged parts of our ship and whatever we could find on the planet." Next, they visited the water extraction plant, where a sophisticated system drew moisture from the air and purified it for consumption. Thalnor marveled at the ingenuity of the system, realizing it was born out of sheer necessity. "Water is scarce here," Sarah continued. "This system ensures we have enough to drink, cook, and grow our crops." They walked through vast greenhouses where an array of plants grew under artificial lights. The colony's botanists had painstakingly developed crops that could withstand the planet's harsh conditions. "We've had to modify some plants genetically to survive here," Sarah said, showing them a robust-looking tomato plant. "It's not easy, but we managed to grow enough to feed everyone." As they toured the colony, the crew noticed the strong sense of community among the humans. Everyone had a role to play, and their cooperation was key to their survival. It was clear that they thrived not just because of their technology, but because of their unity and determination. Later in the day, Sarah took them to the colony's defense center. There, the crew saw how the humans protected themselves from the planet's dangerous wildlife. Automated turrets and sensor systems were set up around the perimeter, ready to fend off any threats. "We've had to deal with some pretty fierce creatures," Sarah said, showing them footage of a massive reptilian beast being driven away by the defenses. "But we've learned their patterns and behaviors, and we've adapted our defenses accordingly." Just as they finished their tour, the skies darkened ominously, and a severe storm began to brew. The winds howled, and lightning crackled across the sky. Sarah quickly ushered the crew back to the main hub. "Storms here are intense and unpredictable," she warned. "You'll see firsthand how we handle them." Inside, the colonists sprang into action. Storm shutters were secured, and everyone took shelter in designated safe zones. The crew watched in awe as the colony operated like a well-oiled machine, each person knowing exactly what to do. As the storm raged outside, Thalnor turned to Sarah. "Your people are incredible. You've turned a nightmare of a planet into a home." Sarah smiled, though her eyes were tired. "It hasn't been easy, but we've come a long way. We've had to be strong, adaptable, and most importantly, we've had to work together." The storm eventually passed, leaving behind a drenched but intact colony. Thalnor felt a deep admiration for these humans who had not only survived but thrived in the face of overwhelming adversity. The next morning, Captain Thalnor and his crew were eager to learn more about the daily challenges faced by the human colony. Sarah Mitchell had promised to show them how they tackled some of the most severe obstacles on Arcturus Prime. They began the day at the edge of the colony, where a group of colonists was setting up new defenses. Sarah introduced them to Mark, the colony's chief engineer, who was overseeing the construction. "We're always expanding and improving our defenses," Mark explained. "The creatures here are relentless and adaptive. We have to stay one step ahead." Mark demonstrated how they used the planet's unique minerals to create stronger barriers and more effective weaponry. The aliens were fascinated by the innovative solutions the humans had devised to protect themselves. Afterwards, Sarah led them to the outskirts of the colony, where they met a team of scouts preparing for an expedition. These scouts ventured into the unknown parts of Arcturus Prime, mapping the terrain, studying wildlife, and searching for resources. "Every expedition is a risk," said Elena, the lead scout, "but it's necessary for our survival. We've discovered valuable resources and learned a lot about the planet this way." Thalnor and his team accompanied the scouts on a short expedition. They traversed treacherous terrain, using advanced gear to navigate the hostile environment. Along the way, they encountered strange, resilient plant life and saw signs of the dangerous creatures that roamed the planet. During the expedition, they stumbled upon a new type of plant with potential medicinal properties. The scouts carefully collected samples, knowing that even the smallest discovery could make a big difference for the colony. Back at the colony, they joined a group of colonists working on repairs to the air purification system. One of the main units had malfunctioned, and the team was racing against time to fix it before the air quality deteriorated. "We've become pretty good at fixing things on the fly," said Lisa, one of the technicians. "We don't have the luxury of waiting for new parts, so we improvise with what we have." Thalnor and his crew watched as the technicians deftly repaired the unit, their skills honed by years of necessity. The aliens couldn't help but admire the humans' ability to adapt and innovate under pressure. In the afternoon, Sarah took them to the colony's medical center. Dr. Evans, the chief medical officer, explained how they managed to keep the colony healthy despite the constant threats from the environment. "We've had to develop new treatments and preventive measures," Dr. Evans said. "The planet's toxins and pathogens are unlike anything we've encountered before, but we've learned to handle them." He showed them a lab where they researched the planet's flora and fauna for potential medical uses. It was a constant battle against an ever-changing array of dangers, but the medical team was dedicated and resourceful. As the day drew to a close, the colony received an urgent alert. A herd of aggressive creatures was approaching, drawn by the recent storm. The colonists quickly mobilized, and Thalnor and his team were ushered to a safe vantage point. They watched in awe as the colony's defenses sprang to life. Automated turrets targeted the creatures, while teams of colonists armed with improvised weapons stood ready to defend their home. It was a tense battle, but the colonists worked together seamlessly, driving the creatures away. After the threat had passed, Thalnor turned to Sarah, his admiration evident. "Your people are remarkable. The challenges you face here would break most, yet you thrive." Sarah smiled, her pride shining through. "We've had no choice but to adapt and grow stronger. Every challenge has made us more resilient. We've learned to find opportunity in adversity." Thalnor nodded, deeply impressed. He knew that the resilience and ingenuity of these humans were qualities that the Galactic Union could benefit from. Captain Thalnor stood on a platform in the colony's central square, addressing the gathered crowd of humans. His respect for these resilient people had grown immeasurably over the past few days. Now, it was time to propose the next step in their extraordinary journey. "People of Arcturus Prime," Thalnor began, his voice carrying across the square, "your strength, ingenuity, and spirit have deeply impressed us. The Galactic Union has much to learn from you. We propose an alliance, one that will bring mutual benefits and opportunities." The crowd buzzed with excitement and curiosity. Sarah Mitchell stepped forward, her eyes reflecting hope and determination. "What kind of alliance do you propose, Captain?" Thalnor smiled. "An alliance where we share knowledge and resources. The Galactic Union can provide advanced technology and medical supplies, assist with infrastructure, and offer opportunities for trade and education. In return, we hope to learn from your experiences and innovations. Together, we can face greater challenges and achieve more than we ever could alone." Sarah looked at her people, gauging their reactions. There was a mix of anticipation and cautious optimism. She turned back to Thalnor. "We've been isolated for so long, and the prospect of joining the galactic community is both thrilling and daunting. But we're ready to take that step forward. We accept your proposal." The crowd erupted in applause and cheers. The colonists, despite their hardships, had always harbored dreams of reconnecting with the larger universe. This alliance represented a new chapter in their story. In the following days, representatives from the Galactic Union arrived on Arcturus Prime. They brought advanced medical supplies, new technologies for air and water purification, and materials to enhance the colony's defenses. The aliens worked side by side with the humans, learning from each other and forging strong bonds. One evening, as the sun set over the rugged landscape, Thalnor and Sarah sat together, reflecting on the progress they had made. "This planet is still dangerous," Sarah said, "but with your help we've taken a huge step forward. Our people are safer, healthier, and more hopeful than ever." Thalnor nodded. "And we've learned so much from you. Your resilience and resourcefulness are inspiring. The Galactic Union will be stronger with your contributions." Sarah smiled. "It's a new beginning for all of us. I'm excited to see where this journey takes us." As the days turned into weeks, the alliance flourished. The colony's quality of life improved dramatically, and the Galactic Union gained invaluable insights into human adaptability and survival. The exchange of ideas led to innovations that benefited both the colony and the wider galaxy. The human colony on Arcturus Prime became a symbol of hope and resilience. Visitors from across the galaxy came to learn from their experiences, and the colony thrived as a hub of knowledge and cooperation. The once isolated humans were now an integral part of the galactic community, their story of survival and triumph inspiring countless others. Thalnor and his crew eventually returned to their ship, their mission complete but their hearts forever changed. They had witnessed the extraordinary potential of humanity. and they carried that lesson with them into the stars. As the Stellar Quest prepared to depart, Sarah stood on the colony's landing pad, waving them off. "Safe travels, Captain, and thank you for everything." Thalnor smiled and saluted. "Until we meet again, Sarah, the galaxy is a better place with you in it." The ship lifted off, leaving behind a thriving colony that had turned the deadliest planet in the galaxy into a beacon of hope and innovation. The story of Arcturus Prime was just beginning, and its impact would be felt for generations.